Book of Heaven, Volume 17, March 1st, 1925. How each additional act which the soul does in the divine will is one more filament of light which renders the light within her more intense, more strong, and more bright. What true light is. I was feeling very embittered because of the loss of my sweet Jesus. Oh, how I miss my past! How his lovable presence used to make my poor existence happy. Even in the midst of the hardest pains, my poor bed was a little paradise for me. I felt like a queen together with my lovable Jesus, dominator of myself, and through the continuous contact with him, I felt as though dominator of his very divine heart. And now how my happiness has changed, or rather, every time I search for him and do not find him, unhappiness surrounds me. It tears a stretch of my life away from me, because Jesus alone is my life, and I feel more vividly the pains of my hard exile. Oh, how true it is that it is not the pains that render the creature unhappy, but the good which is wanted and is not found. And while I was saying to him, "Have pity on me, do not abandon me, come, rise in my poor soul immersed in the bitter waters of your privation," I felt my beloved good, my sweet life move in my interior, and extending his arms around my neck, he said to me,
"My daughter, my daughter."
I looked at him coming out from a foundation of light, and as Jesus extended his arms, the light extended after him. However, that light was not completely full. One could see a void within that very light. But even though a void could be seen, it was not darkness. It was as if more filaments of light were needed in order to render that void more full and the light more intense, more strong, and more bright. At the sight of Jesus, I felt myself rising again from death to life. His words,
"My daughter,"
changed my unhappiness instantly, because being with Jesus and being unhappy is impossible. At the most, one might be with Jesus in suffering, amid the most atrocious pains, but unhappy, never. Even more, it seems that if there is any unhappiness in the soul, it flees from the presence of Jesus, giving place to happiness, which he brings with himself. Then, resuming his speaking, he told me,
"My daughter, courage, do not fear. There is no darkness in you, because only sin is darkness, while good is light. Don't you see how I have come out a foundation of light from within your interior? But do you know what this light is? It is all the interior operating that you do. Each additional act you do is one more filament of your will, which you bind to the current of the eternal light, and that filament turns into light. So the more acts you do, adding more filaments, the more full, intense, and bright the light will become. Therefore, what you have done is the light that you see, and what is left for you to do is the void that you see within that same light. And I will remain always in the midst of this light, not only to enjoy it, but to bind the filaments of the human will to the current of the eternal light, because I am the origin, the foundation, the current of the light. But do you know what true light is? True light is the truth. The truth, known, embraced, loved, and put into practice by the soul, is the true light, which transforms her into light itself and causes new and continuous births of light to be placed inside and outside of her. This truth forms the true life of God within the soul, because God is truth, and the soul is bound to the truth. Even more, she possesses it. God is light, and she is bound to the light, and is nourished with light and with truth. However, while I nourish the soul with truth and with light, she must keep the current of her will opened in order to receive the current of the divine communication. Otherwise, it can happen as with the electric current, to which its own electrical characteristics are not enough. The light is lacking. The preparations are needed in order to receive it. And still, the light does not reach everyone equally, but according to the light bulbs they have. Those who have one receive one light. Those who have 10 receive light for 10. And if the light bulbs contain more electric filaments, the lamps appear as more full of light. If they have less filaments, even though there is room inside the glass, the light is small. And even if the place where the current comes from can give more light, one does not receive it because the strength of the electricity in order to receive it is lacking in the light bulbs. Therefore, it takes the celestial current which wants to give, as well as the human current in order to receive it. And according to your operating, you will add more filaments to render more complete the light which I want to enclose within you.
Thank you for being a part of our community here at Divine Will app. If you enjoy listening to Jesus' lessons on how to live in the divine will, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more souls yearning to live in the kingdom of the divine will. We'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections, so drop a comment below. Your insights not only enrich our community, but also inspire others on their spiritual journey. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By joining us, you're helping to spread the news of the kingdom of the divine will, so that together we can bring His kingdom to reign on earth as it is in heaven. In the divine will, always.